Welcome to the Talk Your Ish podcast.
Sorry.
Fuck is this? Niggas out here wailing.
Nigga, candy.
Niggas out here wailing. Anyway. I've had a couple episodes in the cuff. I'm probably gonna release them later. But this is something that I felt like needed to be said out loud and like kinda in a way that wouldn't hit too many nerves without somebody running it back and being able to understand what the fuck I was saying. I got an issue with this R. Kelly thing. No, it's not what you think. Wait. Alright. So, the nigga is disgusting. I had a problem with women my age messing with high school dudes when I was in middle school. And that shit continued until now. I still feel like that. But now that I'm older, it's like more of an understanding of, you know, the climate and context and all of that stuff. So like, this nigga is the most disrespectful motherfucker. Yo.
My phone is bugging.
I'ma deadass have to cut wild shit just cause you wailed.
Yeah, my fault.
I don't even know what I was talking about.
I don't either. Fucking YouTube. Shit just started playing.
Fucking Android gotta go to jail. Anyway, like I was saying, R. Kelly, that nigga needs some help. Those women need some help. I'm gonna tread lightly on my passion behind this because at the end of the day, a victim is a victim regardless of the situation. But I think what most people struggle with and why these women received the backlash that they did was because of the simple fact that you have people that have no choice in these type of matters. And so to say you're a survivor from a situation that you not only was able to leave from, I understand Stockholm, I understand, you know, all of those things in that nature, but it's like when you're making these type of decisions, grown up decisions as a child, like when I was younger, if I'm doing certain things, I'm not gonna be surprised when I receive the repercussions. No one deserves to get treated as they did, but it's like when you're in a situation and you're trying to believe that it's gonna be different, and then you get in the actual situation, it's like a completely different situation, and now you're overwhelmed and, you know, things of that nature. Granted, master manipulator, so have you. I'm not taking anything from what you guys are saying because we know how these niggas get down. Niggas ain't shit. I tell niggas every day, like, what the fuck is you do? Like, it just don't make no sense to me. But there is a sense of accountability on the other side that I'm gonna get into in a little bit. I don't know. It's just kind of weird for me to wholeheartedly condemn a man saying, oh, what he did was so wrong, da 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 da, and not have an understanding of why he did what he did. Why is it continuously going on? Speaking of that, I don't agree with whole making it a black man, black woman thing. That shit is fucked up, and I'm gonna speak on that as well. But for you to watch that R. Kelly shit and actually be around people that have been in these types of situations, and even I was a part of the underage being messed with and things of that nature. So it's the double standard to that, being a man and being a woman when you're touched and all of that stuff. It's just an iffy place. So when you're making decisions, conscious decisions, and then you step in the shit and then you're like, oh, this thing, there's some type of accountability. And then I was just watching it and then it was just, nobody was taking any accountability. It's like a lot of finger pointing. I understand. You can't be in that situation and not want someone to hear you out. You know what I mean? So then I guess that's why it's hard for them to come forward, because we're like, oh, that didn't happen, or you're not telling the truth, where it's not necessarily the case. It's more so, I feel like at least, that there's way more in between the story that makes either or them look either culpable or kind of accountable a tad bit, and it brings that question, and it's just like, that's why a lot of people hold that shit in, and it's just like, oh, did I like it for that split second? It's just a real hard place. So for people to sit here and try and understand the totality of their situation, how can you just overlook someone completely broken by the system, completely broken family-wise, completely broken emotionally, which was obviously stated, and then surrounded by enablers and money from a pretty young age, which you were able to basically map out how you wanted to move for the rest of your life, and then you had people around you doing it. So it's like, yeah, I hold him responsible. That nigga's a fucking dog. You had people around him that had the wherewithal to understand what the fuck he was doing was wrong. But it was all about a check. And right now, I feel like releasing that Lifetime shit was all about a check. It was kind of weird to me to see that you went this far, tell your story, but make it a story, if that makes any sense. It wasn't the truth. You know what I mean? I expected the truth, especially with that many people coming together. But it was like, I felt like there was lots of missing pieces. There were a lot of things that weren't spoken on. And I feel like that's why he's able to still dance in this gray area. Why you think a man like that is able to say, oh, I'm gonna release a get back at all of these bitches? Like, come on, that's fucking retarded. But at the end of the day, you have to understand why somebody would even think about doing that shit. So back to that whole making it a black woman, black man thing. I hate the fact that we attach this to race as if it doesn't happen in every race. Like, come on, bro. You're not gonna sit here and further masticize this fucking tumor within the black community that's dividing us apart with something that's happening in literally every community. Shit, in the Spanish community, there are jokes within their households about their uncles touching their daughters. Like, are you serious? But black men don't care about black women. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. As a black man, I'm offended. I'm offended. Because if I'm gonna be responsible for ignoring a situation, damn sure I know why I ignored the situation. Because the people close to the situation ignored the situation. And I'm gonna keep it so funky. I'm not one of those people that act like I care more than I actually do. Because granted, if I had any opportunity to make or put an end to whatever was going on, trust and believe, I would have. But you had people that were literally there in that time, understood what was going on, and let it rock. And no, it wasn't because they were black women. It was because in that time, in that climate, in that context, life was completely different. People got to have that understanding. You got to look through that view because the age of statutory and consent has changed more than twice since I was alive. So being cognizant of that, you like, damn, why is he asking for IDs and they saying they 17 and rocking with it? Because that was the age. Now, if I'm telling you to bring a friend, 9 times out of 10, you bring a 17-year-old, and I'm thinking you're going to bring another 17-year-old, or whatever the case may be. This is how the lines get blurred, and it's bullshit that he even is going that way. But if that's your preference, bro, do what you got to do. But I can only do as a man, let you know that that's fucking wrong. Take my family out of that situation. Take me out of that situation. But you had people willingly bringing women around, like that sparkle shit blew my mind. How you understood what you were going through and then brought your niece around? Bro, that fucked me up. That fucked me up because I didn't understand how one could have that much conviction towards another person and not have that same conviction when you, in all reality, set shorty up for that. Like, you can't be serious. My whole thing is just have accountability for your actions, bro. Whether you feel like you're doing it or whether you see it later or you don't notice it in the moment, you notice it later, retrospect, whatever. Own your shit, bro. That shit is whack. That shit is real whack. And then the fact that you have to take away from actual victims, people that don't have the choice or even the wherewithal to be able to stop what they're doing. And then you got the nerve to really call, I think the survivor thing is what really blew my, because I know real survivors from these things. Not no young lady that wanted to make adult decisions and then got in over her head and now you don't know how to get out of it. That's not what it is. You can't sit here and, I understand you're a victim to your circumstance, but you are not a survivor of what you're trying to perpetuate throughout these communities. I understand you feel the hurt. I understand you are hurt by that situation. I understand it was a very, very large block within your growth in life. But at the end of the day, the longer you don't actually address what's real about the situation, you can't move forward. It's like that whole trying to tell the truth, but only the truth you want to get out to make some money. And it's like, yo, that's kind of weird to me. Because things like the Me Too movement and shit like that, that's why there's people able to be naysayers like, yo, this shit is a farce or whatever the case, because you really don't do the due diligence to actually figure these things out. Like, are these like, what's really going on? Let's expose these real issues that's going on. Why these parents are not paying enough attention to their children to where they're able to make these moves. Why are these parents accepting money in order to allow their daughters to do what they're doing? Why are you basically prostituting your child, your loved one? But then you think about it, that shit happens everywhere. But you're not gonna tell me there's not a difference between somebody saying, yo, go fuck that man over there, and you like, I'm gonna go to Chicago. Those are two different things, to me at least. I'm sorry, I don't understand it. That whole making it a black men don't care about black women thing that shit was crazy to me. Because like, as a black man, I've been on both sides. I've been the type of person that have been in situations to where I've been around black women that I was not attracted to. That I just did not find myself fucking with just because I'm just a real nigga. And when I want to fuck with you, it can't be no fallacies, it can't be no facades. You gotta be you. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm from Yonkers, so a lot of the black women around me, they was, trying to move in a way that, you don't need to be moving. Whether you was trying to act like you was Spanish and you wasn't, like, just wild corny shit. So I ended up just fucking with mainly Spanish women, and for my mom to tell me, yo, my son don't like black women. He this, he that. And it's just because of my preference right now. And it's like, damn. Black women be so quick to tell black men that they don't fuck with them, but I hear black women preaching about strictly marrying other races. Granted, every boy I knew talking about black women, talking down to black women, yeah, boys. I don't call them men. Boys. Every boy I've checked around me, close to me, real homie, checked immediately. But you got my loved one, she even was like, yo, nah, this nigga don't fuck with black women. To then me turn around and go to an HBCU and, oh my goodness, wow. We are destined to be together. But if we keep perpetuating this, oh, you don't like me because of this and I don't like you because of this, it's mad tedious, bro. Mad tedious. She just picked that out because she saw a couple of the women I liked. She never asked me my preference. She never understood why I didn't fuck with any of the black women around me, because it was no black women that I wanted to fuck with in my area. Once I went to Delaware State, oh my goodness. Came home, now I'm traveling more, now I'm doing this, now I'm driving, I'm doing all of this, I'm seeing more black women. Now, guess what? I haven't really looked back, or I don't really have a preference, but black women just seem like what's it for me. Because you guys hit the spectrum. It just works. That whole divisive media bullshit, bro. Shit is whack. I don't know, bro. That nigga's sick. Granted, there's people that are old enough and grown-ass people that like doing the shit he do. But at the end of the day, you doing it to kids, bro. That shit is wacky. At like 20, I was done fucking with younger women, and it was just like, I don't know. It just got weird for me after a while. I think I stepped back once or twice, and after that, nah, I can't do it. It just don't work for me. Especially intuitively, it just don't work. I be trying to talk, and I guess I say this all to say, we all got deeper issues than what we say in the media. Don't just go off what you hear or read. Do some thinking. Put pieces together. Try to have an understanding. We in a world where we got a lot of information and a lot of information flying by and not enough people to process it. So all we doing is going off headlines, and it's just not a way to be. Well, not a way to move forward for real. I'm gonna wrap this shit up. Till next time, it's your boy. I'm out.